Welcome everyone, welcome. Justin M. Bailey here. Making a video where I mentioned something last week that I want to talk about a little further. Originally what I wanted to talk about this week is insecurity, insanities, and religion. Not necessarily that they're connected, but I definitely find like a key line behind all those things. But going to what I already mentioned last week, where there's a very, very thin line in society. And I'm necessarily not even bashing it. It's just how people are. We always, when we are living outside the line, which I talked about, and then we are starting to get shit, which is inevitable for like every little thing. We just start to lament about how judgmental and insanely conformist people are. But it's like, well, duh. It's like it's the worst part of us, but it's also our strongest part. Which that doesn't get talked about a lot, because it's like whatever your greatest strength is, it's also your greatest weakness. Away she goes, yo. Love the Japanese. Their greatest strength and weaknesses, they take everything seriously, everything, man. But so it's like, I mean, we don't have fur, we don't have claws compared to lots of other animals out there. We are animals. We're not that super strong. All we've had to get us from where we were freezing our asses off 20,000 years ago to right now as the dominant creature on the planet is because of how insanely conformist we are. We are, in that sense, it's like if we're still in that mentality where everybody's lives are on the line. We want absolutely everybody to be on the same page, focused towards one goal. I'm pretty sure the very first law written on a caveman wall was, if it's different, kill it. And once again, you can lament about it all you want and talk about how horrible it is, because yes, it is horrible, especially if you are different in any way. But that's where it comes from. So as exponentially important it is that we all learn to be as understanding as possible and as accepting, it's... How can I put this? All those things, but it's just also just, I can't think of right now, but just you cannot underestimate the importance of conformity, of that. So that's how it is. So I mean, it's like where one of the reasons why everybody is still ridiculously so insanely judgmental is, even though survival is not nearly as stake anymore, at least in the short term, we're still hardwired to that. You can take all of us monkeys out of the jungle and, freaking put us in our metropolises. We're still a bunch of stupid fucking monkeys, period. A random tangent. I always find it so funny how people always talk about, oh, capitalism doesn't work because all of these problems, or communism doesn't work. It's, imagine a bunch of monkeys running a business, running a shop. And imagine how badly that business would fail. And nobody would ever say, oh, well, maybe the monkeys should have tried this, or maybe the monkeys should have tried that. So it's like, no, they're fucking monkeys. And monkeys, you cannot possibly expect monkeys to properly run a store. Let alone, you can't really expect all of us monkeys to do a good job running any country or any government under any system. So, food for thought right there. But, getting back, so it's like, that's how we are. And I mean, maybe that shows we're so insanely judgmental. We're even judgmental about how judgmental we can be. I think that's it right there. So I think it's clearly when you get to that area, where here's the line and you get out of it and you get all huffy puffy because suddenly people are throwing rocks about you. It's just, yeah, it's the way she goes. What did I say? I was going to say, if you get out of line and you get all huffy puffy, you're really missing the point. You're really missing how unbelievably inescapable this is. It's just, this is what it means to be a human. For better or worse, it just is. It's not better or worse. It just is. It's like you can't deny nature. So going along with this, first of all, I think a very interesting idea would be, I think to really possibly hit a lot of this stuff home, is there's a lot of insanely racist things out there. There's a lot of insanely sexist things, biased, whatever. cruel and vicious. And I think it'd be an interesting thought exercise when you see someone go, my God, that is so racist. My God, that is so sexist, vicious, homophobic, whatever. Instead of saying that, say, my God, that is so human. Because suddenly that brings it home, where it's like, my God, that is fucking human. And last time we all checked and looked into a mirror, we're all insanely fucking human. Do you know what I mean? Because usually when we like get to like, oh, that is so horrible, we instantly think that we are not capable of that thing ourselves. But dear God, yes, because we are capable of it because we do it every single day. Every single one of us, which is why I'm talking about know the big line of the society you live in, but know everybody else's line too. Because every single one of us, we've got a serious fucking line. You know? Like yesterday, I tried to think of an example. Because like once again, racism, sexism, homophobia, religion, those are the big four, you know, right now. But they're also really not, because it's not, it's just the leaves and the flowers. It's so much bigger than that. Not meaning to underplay all those things. Because they're really bad. But it's just, once again, it's just what they are is what those things are. That is just the clown, if you get what I mean. Especially if you know what my favorite book is. Those are just the many forms this creature takes. It's not the spider creature, which is silly, but it's not the creature in the sewer. It's just, they're just illusions. So, like I said yesterday, where I gave one example, just one, where I talked about, like, if I leave a convenience store and I see a guy sipping a large can of Red Bull, and he's wearing a fraternity, sweatshirt, I instantly cast a judgment about this entire person I know nothing about. Boom, right there. Do you know what I mean? That's just one. I think every single one of us has at least 10,000 of these. Like, you think you might have tiny racial or sexist hang-ups or anything, or about people in the Middle East or whatever. Oh, you silly fool. That is just the tip of the iceberg. We all have so freaking many about everything. Like, I love that Munster's pinball machine. I really love it a lot. As far as the pinball community, that's one where if I told people I only bought, like people who are seriously into pinball, if I told them, I put down the money, technically, well, okay, somebody put down the money, and that was the one I chose, they would be like, you had the chance to buy not just a pinball machine, but a brand new pinball machine, and you picked Munsters? I'd be like, yeah, but then that community would be like, oh, we judgment has been set, at least for this, like, you're a dumb bastard or something. Do you know, it's crazy. It's really crazy, but you try and go a single day without doing that once. It's impossible. So, what we all got to do is, quiet, Munsters! It doesn't like people saying shit about it either. That was so dumb. Yeah. So it's record scratch on the brain. Is it? So basically, I got interrupted there. But what's it all come down to? So it's like you can't go a day without it. It's just so engraved in you and every single other fucking creature on this planet. It means that we all need to basically realize we do it and really internally evaluate ourselves. Like, what is my line and why? And what can I possibly do to make it just a little bit wider every day? Just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm not saying we should be just completely, understanding and hearts and flowers of anyone, because, that's stupid, I mean, there is very good reason as people and creatures we should be insanely fucking judgmental about so many things, but most of the time, really not. You know what I mean? It's, so just, I think that's the ticket, because, I mean, you really can't change anybody else's line, and it's a waste of time to try, I mean, if people suddenly if the pinball community sometime makes a judgment about me, because that's my machine of choice, what's the point? It's like, whatever, but, you can't, so it's just like, I've always found it such a waste of time to try and mess with that, you know. But also, don't try to change it, but always try and figure out what everybody's line is too. Do you know what I mean? But the most important thing that I just want to personally leave myself with definitely is just every day just trying to make your own line a little bit wider. Because once again, I said it last time, but the thing about people is you can magically wave a wand and make everybody Chinese, lesbian, Jew. It won't change a frickin' thing, period, until every single individually one of us takes care of that. And that is really fucking scary right there. That's like going in a dark, scary sewer, like in It, to try and face something really freaking terrifying. Or it's also like one of my favorite games of all time, Super Metroid, which I have talked about to death. And yes, I am still making a big, high production video on that coming soon, probably on December 12th. But I like making these. These are just, they're helpful for me for a million reasons. First of all, how green and low quality look does make me laugh. It tickles me almost as much as having no comment sections. But it just kind of helps me work out. Like, I do have a philosophy, you know? And it's one of those things where I really want to get it where I can just, like, shoot it off at any moment if it ever comes up, which, you know, not necessarily right now, but that's... My philosophy is important to me. So I really want to get it at its sharpest. Do you know what I mean? So if you did listen, thank you very much, and I hope it helped out. Justin M. Bailey. Bye. And yes, I have gotta totally talk about that machine sometime. Let's get a look at this darling. Woo! Oh, it's crikey, it's pretty. It's huge and a beautiful creature. Woo!